gentleman is called Klaus Dibbern of Flinc. Welcome to Ecosummit.
Okay, thanks, Jan. Very nice. Always good to be back, and I want to tell you a little about the progress that we made with Flinc over the last year. Basically, Flinc, the social mobility network, enabling ride-sharing anywhere, any place, and at any time. That's what we're about. And why do we do what we're doing? You can see it on these pictures here. You have traffic congestion not only on freeways, but also in cities. The picture on the left is taken in Moscow. I understand that there are many representatives from Moscow here today. They know the situation. In Moscow, there's actually a task force on road congestion, and we've been in discussions with them quite a while ago, so maybe we're going to get there. So it would be really great if more people would be in the same car. Just imagine we would have 50% less cars on these streets. There would be no congestion. There would be higher efficiency, et cetera, et cetera. So what Flinc is all about, Flinc is about finding people who are traveling in similar directions at similar times. And we bring those people together so that they can share a ride or any other kind of transportation system together. Our goal is to become an established provider of transportation services, which is alongside and integrated with public transport and private mobility options. So partnering with CarZap is certainly an option in the future once they launch. Now you might say ride-sharing has been around for a long time. And that's true, and it's working very well. Oliver has just mentioned two players, BlaBlaCar and carpooling. What they do is they arrange rides between cities, which are pre-arranged, and the average length of these trips is somewhere around 250 kilometers. These are only 20% of all trips that are being done by car. What Flinc does is we do what the established players do, plus we add a dynamic element, and we go from any address to any address. So you can have very short-term spontaneous ride shares, and you can go within Berlin or from Berlin to the outskirts of Berlin. You're not restricted to going to long distances. The average route length in Flinc is about 50 kilometers. So it's a very different market. Let me show you this very spontaneous use case. Just imagine you are traveling in your car, you're driving in your car, you have your navigation system turned on, and Flinc is activated in this navigation system. We have a very strong partnership with Garmin. This is going to become even stronger in the future. And when you have your Navigon navigation turned on, your route is automatically being posted to Flinc and is in Flinc as a ride offer. And while you're driving, we are looking for passengers who could share the ride with you. And once a passenger is found, then you can actually get this picture in your navigation system saying, Michael wants to have a ride with you. You have a little detour if you pick him up, and you get some money. You click accept, and the navigation system automatically directs you to the pickup point of Michael, to his destination, and then to your final destination. That's the very spontaneous use case of Flinc. Obviously, we need a high critical mass until we have this established on an ongoing basis. We started in 2011, so we're not quite there yet. On our way to realize this true dynamic ride sharing, and actually we're the only ones worldwide who are integrated in navigation and can cover this use case, we can be accessed from anywhere in any situation, basically. So there's a web application where you can look for rides well ahead. You can input your regular rides to work and work with that. You can use Flinc on the go. So there's an app for iPhone and for Android where basically from here I can find a ride back to my hotel here in Berlin just using my iPhone. And I told you about the navigation use case. We also did a first step last year here while I was here in terms of connected mobility, i.e. we are integrated with Drive now. So just as Oliver said, as a future for CarZap, we have already realized with Drive now, if you start Flinc and you're looking for a ride, we also show you the nearest Drive Now cars, and you can book them via Flinc, or vice versa. If you're in a Drive Now car, this trip is being offered to other ride sharers who want to go with you and share the ride. So where are we in the marketplace? There are different players in the marketplace, like MyTaxi, Lyft, and Uber. MyTaxi has received funding north of 10 million. Lyft has just last week announced that they have received funding of $60 million, and Uber has in total received funding of more than 50 million. These companies are restricted to large cities, and basically all of them are more like taxi services. So the driver goes wherever the passenger wants to go. The difference is that there are professional drivers and private drivers, but basically it's more like a taxi service. Flinc serves the casual user, the private driver, and you can use it everywhere, and it's at a very affordable cost for the passenger. So this is the C2C, B2C market space. We have, a little more than 6 months ago, launched our B2B solution, i.e. we sell Flinc to companies as a cloud-based service for their employees to get to work and to get back home. You can imagine it's like a group in Facebook. You can create this group to be very closed, just for the company employees, or to be open for everybody. Among our customers are these household names that you can see here: BASF, Procter & Gamble, Bosch, Marco Polo. They have implemented Flinc for different reasons, to save on parking places, to save on carbon, or just to increase communication among the employees and to do something good for the employees. Today, I have something new to announce. Just today, we have launched a cooperation with large gas station companies, chains. So from today on, there are 700 gas stations across Germany, from Esso and from Oil, where we publish these gas stations as potential meeting points in Flinc. So if you look for a ride or you offer a ride, you are being proposed the next Esso station that you can meet at. You go to the bistro and you wait for your driver. You get a free coffee from Esso. You get a free coffee from Oil. So if you want to take your next trip with Flinc, and I urge you to sign up, you get free coffee here, but after the conference, you can go to Esso and get your free Flinc coffee there. The gas stations do this, Esso does this, because they want to drive customers to their stores, obviously. This is how, in Flinc, a gas station looks like. So this drives to another point. We have points of interest within Flinc, and we can create live time schedules and ride schedules for each point of interest. For any Esso station, you can look up in Flinc where are rides going to in the next hour or so from this gas station. We can do the same with train stations, with parking places, etc. So there's room for vision, basically. This is the Flinc development in Germany and a little abroad. You see some activities going on in Austria, and we expect this wave basically to spread out to Europe very soon. So tell us where you want to go and ride together. Thank you.
We have one question from the audience because of time, and then I want to do our rock and roll interview with Ralf Fuchs. Who wants to ask a question to Klaus?
I think your product's really great, but I just have one question. There's a big regulation concerning taxi services in Europe. Now, how would you prevent an individual from using your service to kind of like run around Berlin or Paris or London and use it as an informal taxi? Because then I guess that the legal responsibility would fall on you guys.
Well, first I would pass this question back to you. If you look at a service like Lyft, which is operational in San Francisco and other large cities in the US, they do exactly that. They propose private people to act as taxis at a price which is about 2/3 of the taxi price. And they've just received investment from Google Ventures and from others to the tune of 60 million, because to change mobility, you need to have a revolution, and you need to get across regulatory hurdles. And that's what the US people actually believe in. That's why they got this investment. Here in Europe, I'm with you. It would be very, very difficult to set something up like that, but there are attempts to do that, so we're very keen to see what's going to happen there. In our case, ride-sharing has been regulated since ages, basically. There are the established players. For the short distances that we cover, people could do that, but we actually suggest a price for a specific trip, and this price is not attractive to use it on a professional basis. So this driver would need to say to each passenger, Flinc says this ride is €3, but I'm charging you 10. And we obviously also have a rating system, etc., and this driver would just be out of the system.
And just a quick comment to finalize from my side. Lyft from the US, they need a fair amount of the 60 million for their lawyers, that's for sure. Right. But they do a smart thing, except for putting pink mustaches on the cars. They're actually talking about donations and not payments. So it's a donation. And this is a very cool way, I think, to tackle, at least to try to tackle this big challenge. Yeah. Donations. For driving me around Berlin. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually a good way to get everybody on board and see where the price elasticity is, because people are willing to pay more for such a service. And if I would talk to politicians, I would urge that the regulations are loosened so that we can have Flinc drivers with low prices and Flinc drivers with high prices, because at night when you want to go back from a bar or something, there is no taxi, you would like a Flinc driver and you would like to pay this person €50, but for laws you're not allowed to do that.
Cool. Thank you very much, Klaus.
Thanks.